Hi, I'm Howard Tipton, Town Manager of Longboat Key, and this is Tip Talks. This is a video series that is all things Longboat. And today I am joined by our Fire Chief Paul Dezzi, who is also our Emergency Management Coordinator. And we're going to talk about hurricane season. It's our favorite subject, especially after last year. But there are just a couple of things that we really want to emphasize as we get into this season. So the first thing I want to do, though, is just recognize Paul for his leadership this past year. Our response, considering the impacts that we were facing, I thought was outstanding, and that really starts with Paul. He will say it was a team effort, and it was. It was a big team effort, but it starts with him, and so I just want to say welcome and congratulations. Thank you for everything.
I appreciate it.
All right, so that's all passed.
Right.
Clean slate this year. Hopefully we won't have to do any of this.
We'll have to cancel hurricane season.
That's right. We tried to cancel it. They wouldn't let us. But we want to talk a little bit this morning about this upcoming season. So last year, a lot of lessons learned. Everybody needs to take those to heart. But, in terms of the things that we want folks to think about is, as we go into hurricane season, the first one is have a plan,
That's
right?
Have a plan. Make sure they know where they want to go or where they're going to go once we're going to evacuate, or the officials say it's time to evacuate. And a lot of times people just go over the bridge to maybe like Ritz-Carlton, but we want them to stay off the coast. You can go out towards the interstate, east of 41 is where you want them to go.
Yeah. That's right. And when you have your go bag, it includes?
Well, your go bag would include 72 hours worth of supplies. That includes food, your medication, cash, sleeping needs, any type of hygiene stuff you may need for a shelter. So those kinds of things.
Yeah. Medicine's a big deal, right? Remember to take enough medicines. Most of our evacuations are more on the short side, but we don't know, right? You just don't know. So, take enough to make sure that you're going to be in a good place. So let's talk about evacuation. So we get an order from the state, telling us that, we've got the storm system, the local county, which is Sarasota County for us, right, is telling us, okay, we need to evacuate, let's
right,
go. How much advance notice do folks typically get with something like that?
Well, a couple of things. We have some people who are medically dependent, so we try to get those residents off the key a day or two before into a shelter. But we usually give people about 24 to 72 hours. 24 to 72 hours is as long as we know where that storm's coming. If we have a good sense that's going to come this way, we want to give them ample notice.
Yeah. And so as you're watching the storm, though, make sure that you're taking a look at the intensity of the storm, not just where it is, but the size of it and the scope of it. And make sure you're looking at the surge indicators as well. As we learned from Helene, a storm 125 miles off the coast doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to have any damage. And we had over $200 million worth of damage from Helene. So folks have gotten the evacuation order. They've taken their go bag. They're taking their cars with them when they leave. Right. That's a big deal, especially if it's an electric vehicle. But really, any vehicle you want to take with you, get off the island.
That's right.
And so now we've got the all clear. We've kind of come in and done our first push and starting to make sure that things are safe. How do people get on the island? What's our new re-entry system?
So we have a tag or a color code system. Currently we have 3 tiers. The first tier is for emergency responders. The second tier would be a green sticker. That allows the property managers and publics, some of the businesses to come back on the island and get that stuff organized for them as far as what damage they have. And then the last would be the red sticker, and that is residents. Those residents would then have to, really, we don't want anybody coming back on the island until we're ready. And keeping in mind that if we do shut the water down, it could be a few days before we get the water turned back on here and approved to be drinking.
All right. Yeah, when we do an evacuation, and if we have the issue of water's turned off, power may be off, there's really no point in coming back onto the island. You're going to be miserable. We're going to be miserable with you here. So we want you, when we do the re-entry, we want you to, if if the power and water aren't back on, you come in, check your stuff out, start figuring out what you want to do, and then we really want you to leave for that evening, and then you can start coming back. The other thing is, wait for the re-entry message. Don't start lining up at Ringling, because we also have to go through the city of Sarasota and Manatee County, whether it's the north or south end. So for hurricane season, you want to make sure you've got a go bag, you want to make sure you've got a plan, and then you want to make sure you understand the reentry system. Make sure that you get your sticker for your car. That will make things a lot easier as we come back. So hopefully we don't have to use any of that this year, but we want you to be ready. We're ready. And for now, this has been Tip Talks. Until next time, be well.